Hi, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of What Drives You.
Welcome back, Jayne Bauer.
I'm here with Carl, who you know, maybe all 25 subscribers of you.
Hey, 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 now. We're up to 43 as of this morning. 43.
Wow. Hello, all 43 of you. Big numbers these days. Thanks for joining us. We are here continuing the series about Carl's favorite YouTubers, his top 30. And we're here to discuss Peter Santenello this time around.
Peter Santenello. Just pause on Peter for 1 second. Peter, love your channel. Love your conversations. But Jayne, just so you know, our most recent Joe Rogan episode broke 400 views as of this morning. So we're getting there. Starting to
Well,
crank it out.
I hate Joe Rogan, so I,
Oh, Joe, you don't even know Joe Rogan. Those are strong words.
I don't love what I've seen except for Fear Factor. Other
Okay.
than Fear Factor, I do not support.
All right. Well, then you won't be invited to meet him when we get to meet him. Anywho, Peter Santenello is a amazing guy. He has now he's almost to 4 million subscribers. So if anyone has not followed Peter Santenello, check him out. He's at 3.97 million subscribers. And his top video, this one rocks and kind of shocked me. 34 million views. So pretty powerful stuff. But Jayne, what would you like to know about Peter Santenello?
Um, how did you discover him? I know he's got quite a few subscribers, but what was the first video that you watched?
I think it was one of the ones that you just referenced earlier in our pregame, which was the Appalachia. I'm always intrigued that, in the US specifically, that a lot of our big cities have gotten bigger and a lot of our small towns have gotten smaller. And he goes into the underbelly of some of these communities that were once powerhouses. He's done a big thing on Detroit where he goes and explores all these abandoned buildings and factories and stuff of that nature. But my favorite thing about him is he's super open-minded and nice, and he talks to anybody and everybody. He'll just be walking down the street. He does this mostly on his own. I think his wife helps him a little bit in the editing, but it just shows that you can take an interest or hobby and turn it into an amazing business. He's very well known. He does a lot of speaking. I think he's writing a book too, and maybe doing a documentary. So, yeah, I think that Appalachia was one of the first ones that kind of hooked me in. Again, during COVID, he was exploring stuff that nobody else would do.
Sure. And his videos often involve meeting everyday people in their communities. Um, does that like is that something that you see in other YouTubers, or is that why he sticks out to you?
Yeah, he does kind of, his favorite people to talk to are people that have lived in that community that their whole lives or for a very long time, and he'll just you know make them feel like a celebrity. Like he is so engaged in listening to them and hearing their story, hearing about the evolution of the town. Is the town still a nice place to live? And it's funny because a lot of people, although they'll complain about this or that in their town, the government, the crime, the whatever, and then he'll say, well, do you like living here? And then they're like super proud of their town and their community. So yeah, he makes people feel special, whoever he's talking to. It's a um, rare treat, and they let him in to their homes, their community. There's a ton of times like they'll be like, come on, eat dinner with us, and he's like, oh, okay. And he just goes very random things that he's just invited into, which again, you wouldn't see if you were, National Geographic or some big celebrity. He's getting well known. Obviously, he's got a big following and a lot of views, but he just is very humble, I guess, is the thing, and approachable.
Hmm. Has he been anywhere that you had preconceived notions about that has changed your perspective of that place or those kinds of people?
Yeah, he recently did one about the Panhandle of Florida, So Jayne, you like me and Beth and Maddie, our family has been going to Florida pretty much our whole lives for vacation, spring breaks, or whatever. Not every year necessarily, but a lot. And but we always go down towards the Fort Myers area, Sanibel, all that. Um, he did the Panhandle, and he found this little area that was a powerhouse in like fishing. And since a lot of the fishing and milling and factories have gone away, there's these almost abandoned towns. So it's this little neck from like Pensacola to whatever those fancy beach towns are towards the armpit
Mm.
that is just like this pristine old school 60s 70s type of Florida. You would have never even guessed it's still there. You would have thought by now it would have been bought out by big casinos or hotels or resorts or condos. It is just au naturel. So that was pretty shocking.
Hmm, that's interesting. Are there any like places or people that he hasn't featured that you would like to see him go to in the future?
Well, I don't think I've watched all his videos because he's again one of the guys that's inspired me to consistently post. So I don't think I've seen every one of his videos. He's got a lot out there, but I would love to to see him do some maybe more, I don't know, music type of cities, Memphis, Nashville, Austin. He's done stuff around there. He's done a lot in Vegas because he's really intrigued by like homeless. Not so much to help them, but just like how did you become homeless? And then they have their own community inside of a community. So
Mm,
yeah, I would love to see kind of the both sides of that, which he's done a pretty good job. I mean, like I said, he's almost like a reporter that doesn't have a political position. Like he just is right in the middle.
interesting.
Shows the good and the bad is, I guess, the point there.
Well, I don't know him, but I think he should probably consider helping the homeless people if he's making money off of the content with them. But to each their own, I guess. If there was one video that you could recommend to people who have never seen one of his videos, which one would it be?
Well, that one I sent you, the big is the Appalachia one. That's his most popular one for sure. So 10% of the US has pretty much seen it if you're going by straight math. I did like the Florida one. Uh, he did a kind of an interesting one about Texas along the borderlands of Texas,
Hmm,
and just kind of showing that it's not as scary and as dangerous. Certainly, there is danger there, but he just found some people that you know were really really interesting. That again weren't picking a side politically or economically. They'd been living there for years and years and years, and just that cross border. I mean, there's places where like the Rio Grande's only 50 feet wide. They're your neighbors, people that own property on both sides. And then the crossing over from the U.S. to Mexico, that kind of dynamic. So I would say some of those, and then some of the big cities that he's been able to do, where like Philadelphia, that's a scary one. Philly's a dark place right now. Detroit, again, another little bit scary, but Detroit's kind of on the comeback. So yeah, I'm trying to think where another one. Oh, he did some ones, Jayne, in California, where he went to these really remote towns in California. Like the towns have 10 people and they're just beautiful in the way northern California, kind of in that area where they used to grow all the illegal marijuana, but now that it's legalized, it's kind of just been abandoned. So yeah,
sure.
I would say check out one of those. And Peter, I would post to my daughter, who's not watched many of your videos, if any. I know just his awareness of the communities definitely helps the communities. I don't know that he's giving monetarily of them or of the homeless, but he seems like a person who has a very big heart. And he's not like he's always driving rental cars. He's always driving wearing a black T-shirt with his baseball cap. So it's not like he's jetting around in private jets to get to these joints. So I'm guessing my gut tells me he's a very generous and kind person. Maybe I'm wrong.
Hope so. Let's hope so.
Let us hope so. Anyway, Peter, love to have you on the channel. If you haven't checked him out, audience, please check him out. Help him get to 4 million subscribers, and he will continue to keep exploring. Again, that's an inspiration that I have when he took a passion, he took a hobby, and went out and did it. And now he's able to take care of his family just through talking and meeting people and being friendly and shaking hands. So good job, Peter. All right. Well, that wraps one up. I think we've got, I'm excited about the next one, Jayne. That is right up your alley, a little music action. So looking forward to meeting Mr. Harry or talking about Mr. Harry Mack. Take care, everybody.
Bye.